ने सारंग निवास को बहुत पॉपुलर कर दिया है. So good morning, good evening, everyone. We will be getting started. Very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom. Let me share my screen and we will get started with invoking prayers from God and Guru. Let me share my screen. All right. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Ishwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Radhe Radhe, morning, good evening again to all of you. So let me move to the next screen. Today, like I said, we are going to have a quick recap of the concepts that we have been discussing. Kahoot quiz, like we do. So you can log into Kahoot and let me stop share for a bit. I think I didn't share the screen. That's what I should have done so that you can get the pin and get started. Share sound, share screen. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let me switch to the Kahoot screen and see if are you able to see the Kahoot screen as well?
Yes, but the pin is not visible. Yes, yeah.
It should come now. Are you able to see the pin?
Yes.
So is the music too loud or can you hear me? Or is it distracting?
No, the music is now perfect. I think it's not too loud.
Okay, good. All right, so you can enter the pin www.kahoot.it. All right, there you go. Jai Hanuman, Shyam, Sandhya and Surinder ji are already there. Good. We'll give a few minutes for you to join the game. So you get God's grace for reading Bhagavad Gita and spending time, and you get more grace when you enroll for the quiz also. Okay, that's my theory, but I don't know how far it is true, but please do sign up and participate. It's a great way to adapt stuff. It's a short quiz today. I could have done a little longer, but it's spend time, and it's a very easy quiz today. Super easy with a lot of double pointers. All right, let's see how many we have. 10 participants. Okay, let's get close to 25, 30. I think that will make up for a great game. Very competitive it will be. So you need to, some tips that will help is read all the options, read the question carefully, and most importantly, answer correctly. Okay, it's very important to answer correctly because when you do that, you get points. And when you do it fast, you get more points. Right. Srinath ji, good to see you. Pallavi ji is there as well. Everybody should participate. We have last time winner Ashutosh ji and Sam ji. They both are like geared up. Sam ji, I've heard that you are very good at quizzes. You and Ashutosh ji, whatever Kahoot game, wherever it happens, you have to be in the podium finish. That's what I've seen or heard at least. God is one and Dadaji is back. Very nice. We used to have participants earlier. They would put the name of the food they've had that evening. Pani puri, sometimes bhel puri. We used to have very spicy quizzes that time. But you're welcome to, you know, pick up names that you like. All right, we have 14 participants, 33 in all, 34 I see people who have joined so far. So we'll give some little bit of time to you. Take your time. We'll start in about 3 to 4 minutes. And like I said, it's a great way to recap concepts and see how well you have understood it. And try to keep it simple. I generally create quizzes which are very simple and will complicate it, once the competition really heats up. All right, 16 Shefali has joined as well, and Krishna Priya is there as well. Nice name. All right, we still have about 4 more minutes to go, so please do keep signing up. www.kahoot.it, and pin is right on your screen. The pin is 104272.
The pin is shared in the chat also, and the link if somebody is having trouble.
Yeah, so you have like multiple places where you can look at the pin, so you should be able to enroll.
And remember, we need 2 devices for you to play effectively.
And if you're very fast, you can use one. And I can see some nervous faces already. Performance pressure already building up. Okay, so getting the answer quickly is good, but in the process, if you get it wrong, you know what happens, right? We have some lessons learned from last time.
Nitin, you might want to, sorry,
go ahead.
You might want to share who was the winner last time when we played Kahoot.
Who was the winner last time when we played Kahoot? Winner was Ashutosh ji, I believe.
Yes, correct.
Ashutosh ji was the winner. Yeah, and then there was somebody named RB who was leading it, and one question just brought him down. Shamji, are you all set? It almost seems like, those athletes are ready for the final gunshot too. And then they are get set, go. Okay, 2 more minutes. We'll wait. We have 16. We need to be in excess of 20 at least. That'll be nice. But you're welcome to follow along because we are going to revise and recap anyways. But if you participate, it makes it double fun. And for people who have already joined the game, a little bit more patience would be needed because we'll be starting in 2 minutes. So you can let the butterflies settle down. No pressure whatsoever. Just a game. MJK. What is one? All right, we're waiting for 3 more entrants. Who are going to be the next 3? Let's see after MJK who comes.
Shyamji, did you have a question? You raised your hand. No,
Today I only ask questions. I don't get asked anything. No, please go ahead if you have any. Yes, Shyamji.
Sam.
Oh, Samji or Shyamji? Okay, Samji, please go ahead.
No, whether I win or lose doesn't matter. I'm already the winner. I put the badge. That's how I'll be convinced. Even if I do not make to the top 5.
So you've already declared yourself as a winner. Great. That's the spirit. All right. So 1 more minute. You have last few seconds to join in. Strongly encourage you to participate. I think that's a much better way of participating but regardless, you can listen in because it's going to be an interesting game. And if the technology is not cooperating with you, you can still check if you're getting the answers right or not. I hope I have not messed up in any of the questions today. There are a lot of times I've done that, and I realize it only when the quiz is playing. I did not do it right. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we are down to last 30 seconds now, and we'll get started then. And I'll let you know when it comes to 5, 4, 3. Okay, so just hold on. Need to hold on to your breath until then. 20. All right. Okay, I think we are good to start then. Maybe a few more seconds if we can get somebody. Devotee Shyam Karina ji, thank you for making it 20. That's a good number, I would say. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Came on. Okay, somebody dropped off. I don't know why. But I think we have to get started now. So let's get started. All the best to all the participants. Came on. Okay, there you go. 21. Nice. We are starting then. More than 50%. That's good from the current number. Rewind and recap quiz is the name. Okay. The moment of truth is going to start now. Sham and Dam. Look at the sequence, correct mapping, in the correct order. Okay, bit of a split verdict here. The good news is that majority of you got it right, whoever tried it. It was a bit of a memory test. Sham and Dam. Mind and senses is the correct one. Sham is where the Gyanis, they need to be in the advanced stage of control over your mind. And Dam is the senses. Daman, restraining of the senses. So the Sham and Dam correct mapping is mind and senses. Half, I mean, four of them you said senses and mind. You got it right, but not the order right. Right? It's mind and senses because I'm saying go with the mapping, right? So this, let's see who takes the pole position on this one. So these are the concepts we had discussed, that in order for you to gain eligibility on the path of Gyan, you need to have Shat Sampatti, right? The first two of those were Sham and Dam. You need to have a good control over, mastery over them. And mind is something we said that if you control mind, that is a very advanced stage to be in. Even Arjun is finding it difficult. So for people, mundane people, worldly people like us, in the age of Kali Yuga, it is mission improbable. Okay, I won't say impossible, right? We can still do that. Mission improbable. And until we have reached that stage, Gyan Yoga is a distant dream, even getting started on that. All right, so good thing is 12 people got both the things right, but the order wrong at least. But we'll see who paid close attention to the question and takes the pole position on this one. So on this one, Sandhya has got, okay, 701. It's a very close race. 683, 781, 668, 637. So everybody got it right. It's the speed. Sandhya, what did you have for dinner? I think I know what you're having for dinner, so that's good. Good going. Let's move on to our next question. All right, it's a double pointer. In order to respond, insert dash between dash and dash. Wonderful. Bit of a split verdict, maybe time pressure. But the right answer is we need to introduce a gap between stimuli and senses. So when we introduce a gap, it is called responding as opposed to reacting. And when we break that synapses, a lot of amazing things can happen. We are creating space for something good to happen, divinity to act, or good sense to prevail. A lot of good things, and it could be a very small gap as well. Mindfully, when we are able to insert it, wonderful things can happen. The problem happens when we are in a autopilot mode. The moment we get a trigger, we get the same reaction out. Right? Moment somebody does something that irritates us, we become angry. Moment it's almost like we react like sneezing. Moment you have the stimuli, we do that. But if you're able to insert that gap, it's a beautiful skill to have, and that can happen only when we have mastery over or a good sense of self-awareness. That people can actually understand. It is said that the difference between a good leader and a great leader is that the great leaders, they, even when they are going through certain emotions, let's say they are addressing people, a wide audience, or addressing employees, or they are in a meeting or dealing with people, they are aware of their emotions. They know that now I'm getting upset or angry, or I'm getting into this yellow zone. They don't just keep on playing to the tunes of what their mind is telling. So they just become aware, and then they fine tune their behavior around that, because they know that this is something which is not good in this kind of a setting, and they are able to adjust and make that. So their awareness makes all the difference. And one of the great tools on the path of spirituality is witness consciousness, the sakshi bhav, where ability to read yourself like a book. Okay, something is happening. Why am I mind saying that? Now this situation is happening, so something has started brewing up within me. If it happens again, I'll just become mad. So that awareness starts growing, and then you start taking corrective actions around it, as opposed to simply letting it happen. So see who all got it right and who all got it right the fastest relative to others. Okay, Sandhya has come with a resolve, and Shyamji has climbed up. Karina, MJK, and Jai Shri Ram. So it's a close race between Jai Shri Ram and Sandhya. Not much of a difference. And Shyamji, you have really climbed up big time. So great going.
I think your screen is getting stuck, Nitinji. Now it is okay.
Is it getting stuck?
I think so. Yeah, Ramyaji was telling also, but now it seems to be okay.
I mean, many times it gets hanged a little, but
Yes.
I think that's Kahoot.
Close everything. Give me a sec. Okay, let me make sure I don't have anything. Last time we had a problem, right? So I don't want to run into similar problem this time around. Let me close the video editors and stuff like that, which might be taking up a lot of resources, because it can be make and break, right, for somebody. Losing those few fraction of seconds can make a lot of difference. God is one is the highest climber, by the way. So great going, God is one. I think your name is making all the difference. Okay, if it gets stuck, let me know. I hope I have just closed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's going to be smooth right from here on. But if it does, then I don't know what I will do, but let me know. Okay, let's move on to the next one now. Question number 3. It's a double pointer again. What is most important from below on the spiritual path? Okay, so the key buzzword was most. All are important, but most is a superlative term. Yes, Shri Ramya, is your screen getting hung as well, or are you having a challenge?
After you say the question on the answer on the Kahoot website screen, it is showing me the choices. But your screen, the question is not coming up immediately. Even while you're reading, the question is not there till a long time. And
Is
it
Yeah,
just
that
timer
happens
is
with all
ending.
of them.
If it is happening to all, then it's a even game. Okay.
Oh, and not even allowed to mark the answer. The screen was just stuck. So I know the answers, but I'm not able to mark anything.
So, is your screen getting stuck as well? That should be the case.
The second question, it got stuck. Third one, it didn't get stuck, but it got loaded very late.
Okay. If it is getting loaded late, that's a problem. I don't know how I can, but it will be late for everybody. So then it becomes even.
Correct.
So just hang tight, Ramyaji. Good things will happen. I have a feeling from here, this point onwards. Right. So question was most important. So Gyan, Karam, and Bhakti all are needed on the path of spirituality. However, Bhakti is the most important because the yoga aspect is the Bhakti. So whether you're doing Karam, whether you're doing Gyan, the yoga is basically the Bhakti. So regardless of what you do, Bhakti is the secret sauce, so to say, to progress or eventually do that. So the most made all the difference. All are needed. It's not that bhakti, and even bhakti in our scriptures is explained like it can stand on its own. Gyan needs bhakti, karam needs bhakti, but bhakti can actually stand on its own. Okay, that is an advanced concept. How and why? Because when you do bhakti, proper bhakti, then Gyan is also something that is followed. Gyan and Viragya are putra of bhakti. So you don't need to acquire knowledge separately. Bhakti will start getting revealed within your heart. So bhakti is the most important ingredient, regardless of which path you are on. And because I had put it most, bhakti is the right answer. I'm sure a lot of you would have gone for all of the above, but it was a little tricky, I would say.
I think okay.
Yeah, sorry. Jai Hanuman ji has and Pallavi ji has made it into Karina, and Jai Shri Ram and Sandhya are like very close. So Jai Shri Ram, I see. All right, I'll make up for it. Okay, we are about 50% there. Still time to go. Lot to play for, so don't lose heart. We will get into. So any questions conceptually? I hope the screen is okay now, at least better than before.
Yeah.
All right. So if the question is loading late, I don't know, then it's probably, let me try something else as well. See if it fixes it a little better. Give me a sec. All right, I see some problem. Now keep your fingers crossed if this fixes it or not. Okay, let's move on to the next one now. We are about 50% into the game now. Let's get to the next one. It's a double pointer. What is the order of sacrifices in ascending order in terms of importance for our spiritual growth? Dhan, tan, and man is the right. Second one, somebody said tan, man, and dhan. Yeah, tan, man, dhan is what comes in Aarti in that order. However, within these three, dhan is at the lowest, is assigned the lowest value. Tan is the next one where you start offering your body, and man is the highest. So this is the order in which it goes: dhan, tan, and then man. If you have offered man, rest two will automatically follow, because wherever our mind is, our body, senses, and our credit card bill would automatically support that. So if you want to know where somebody's asakti is, just look at their credit card statements and you would know that where their asakti is. So dhan is anyway the lowest thing. It's a starting point just to build some detachment. And then follows tan and the man part of it, which is essentially when you start getting involved in seva. You start giving part of your life to a greater cause. Could be in any form. So this is the order in which it goes. I think the tan man dhan was chosen probably because that is in our arati. So people think, okay, tan man dhan sab tera kya lage mera. So that is the order, but actual order is dhan, tan, and man. All right, let's see if top two have made any concessions in this one or not. Jai Shri Ram is on fire, but Sandhya is rock solid today. Good. I would say Sandhya is saying, okay, bring on whatever is today. I'm not going to budge. Good going. I think it's probably the Shri Khand that you had today. And Jai Hanuman is pretty close by. Pallaviji has, and Ashutosh is back into the mix. Great going. See, the satisfaction that you would get winning this one is more than winning an Olympic gold medal. I can tell you that. Okay, so that is why it's a very coveted game to win. Although we are just warming up, we are going to make it even more exciting as we go along. And participation is more important than winning. Okay, so all of you who are playing deserve a clap for that. Okay, I encourage all of you to participate. All right, let's move on to the next one. Fifth question we are on. Choose the correct one from below. Okay, so that means people are paying close attention now. The concept of moksha started dawning on most of you. The second best was moksha is less than, somebody went very creative, that less than equal to also came into the fold. However, the right answer is, yeah, moksha is less than divine love. Moksha is not the topmost prize of God, as majority of us would like to believe. As growing up, we say, I need moksha or nirvana, but we have had this discussion at length. It is not. So, congratulations to all of you who got it right, and congratulations to the ones who got it right the quickest. So, let's see who's doing that. If there is any change, I think I'll be surprised if there's a change, but let's see nevertheless. So, Sandhya is not going to budge today. It's like all the way. But one question making all the difference. So we have Jai Shri Ram and Jai Hanuman. Hanuman is like a saver, just close on the heels, following the footsteps. Pallaviji and Ashutosh ji are rock solid as well. So now we are down to our last few questions, the graded questions, I would say, and then few would be non-graded ones as well. So don't take your foot off the pedal. It can really change things. Okay, and if you are in top 10, or even top 20, you can come to the podium position, right? So everybody has a chance right now. We've heard that hare and tortoise story, anything can happen. And it is going to be really exciting last two questions. Let's move on. Being good and honest is good enough to realize God. Can you make it any more easier than this one? IG is done with this question already. I can, just by looking at your pictures, whoever have turned on the, I can tell when they're done with the question. So false, and majority of you got it. In fact, 20 are playing, 19 got it right. One of you, I don't know, was it a time pressure or, but yeah, this is a concept that again needs to be understood in proper perspective, right? Most of the people say, why do I need to bring God into the mix or believe in God or do anything related to God? I lead my life honestly, I'm truthful, and I just earn my living honestly, and that's good enough. Then I do charity also. I help people. I don't think bad about anybody. Okay. So that argument doesn't fly. Scriptures say, first of all, you cannot do that because you are imperfect. Our mind plays tricks with us. There cannot be any person until they have become realized or they become saint that they can say, my mind is purified. I only think good things. Not possible. And secondly, even if you have reached a goodness, a mode of goodness, still it is not good enough because we need to transcend that as well. Pap and punya both become pap, uh, especially when it comes to how it stacks up against God realization. Both are binding. So this was probably one of the easiest questions, and unsurprisingly, no change. And Sandhya has consolidated her lead. Jai Shri Ram and Jai Hanuman. Not even an inch you are getting, but now we are down to our last question, probably graded question. So all the best. Let's move on. It's a double pointer. What is absolute truth? Good. Majority got it right. Yes. So the truth is, God is truth. No two ways about it. We are servants of God. That is also truth. And that is the real truth to be understood. A Gyani never gets to that truth. So the truth that a Gyani gets to is a partial truth. But until we reach this realization that we are the servants of God, our understanding of the truth is partial. And only a devotee gets to that level because they aspire to serve God. In no other path, they aspire to serve God. They just want to merge with God or realize God in form of Paramatma. But there is no desire at all to serve God. And God is love and happiness is anyway. It's a synonymous term. Love and happiness. God is love. God is happiness. So all of the above are correct. And unsurprisingly, most of you got it right. So everybody got it right. But 15 of you got it completely right. Okay. Some of you got it right, partially right, like Gyanis do. And some of you got it completely right, like devotees do when their devotion fructifies. Okay, so with that, let's look at. Okay, now we have a survey. What do you think of addition of bhajans and chantings? We have 4 options. No grading, so no pressure on this one. Okay, you can smile and answer. Let's see what people have to say. At least the ones who are playing the game may not be representative of everyone, but nevertheless, let's hear your voice. And I'm sure somebody will take a snapshot of this as well as the next one for me. So 16 are saying love it. 2 are saying it's okay. Nobody's saying too early to say. One is neutral about it, but kind of gives us a pulse of what we are trying to do here. So that's nice. Personally speaking, it gives us an opportunity to mix devotion in every session. Bhagavad Gita can get, the overload of knowledge as we go along, which is great. But then we have to wait for shlokas where it talks about bhakti and some of the other concepts. But now that we have started reciting and chanting as well, I think it adds that bliss or the ras, as they say, or the mellow. So it's a great way, right? And the feedback that I'm hearing, even in feedback trackers, people, they get a nice sleep after listening to those beautiful chantings and bhajans that we are doing. So great, keep it up. We'll make it even more exciting as we go along. That's good to hear. So Pailji, you can have another glass of water to clear your throat because your movement is coming very shortly. Let's move on. Last but not the least, one spiritual quality that the DF sessions has helped me with, one quality that you think a visible, tangible, qualitative, quantitative change that you've really realized because of your continuity in the sessions itself. You can take a picture of it as well, and Shifali will create a nice Instagram post out of it, I'm sure. Sakshi Bhav, anger, control, love for God, practicality, style, decluttering, equality, uplifted, my devotion. No, that's good. That's that's wonderful. I don't know who's copying the style of the host. Would love to hear from you. What are you trying to copy here? But that's good to know. Can take that. I think there are a lot of good things here. Practicality, patience, sakshi bhav. That's a good one. Acting to situation, presence of God, love for God, Krishna prem, uplifted my devotion. That's very, very heartening. Good things to look at. Wonderful. Thank you for your enthusiastic participation. We have no winners today. Everybody's a winner. No, we'll announce. Let's see what Kahoot says. No prizes for guessing who has led the race today all along. So let's invite our winners to talk about the quiz and their experience. And Jai Hanuman is second runner-up. Jai is second and first, and Sandhya, you just noticed it right from the word go. Wonderful. And Pallavi ji and MJK. Let's hear from our participants, their experience, and how did they find the quiz too easy? What was the experience? So let's start with our winner Sandhya, and then call up Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman, MJK, and Pallavi ji real quick, and then we can get into our segment to next segment to have a bit of a chanting and a discussion as well.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. I really enjoyed the quiz.
Enjoyed it, as we can
And
see.
one thing that I learned last time I was trying to apply, that carefully read before answering.
Carefully read, yeah. That's a good learning, I'm sure. Well played, though. I think you did not give an inch to anybody today, which is pretty amazing. So, well played. Very nice.
It was Maharaj ji playing through us. No?
Wow. See, your Tattva Gyan is rock solid now. Great. And who was Jai Shri Ram and Jai Hanuman? I think one of them is. Yes, Pramodji, were you Jai Shri Ram or Jai Hanuman?
I was Jai Shri Ram.
Okay. How was your experience?
It was great, and it's absolutely unbelievable that I surprised myself. I couldn't believe that I got most of all the questions right. It's unbelievable. I consider myself extreme rookie in these matters, so it's very, very heartening to see that. Yeah, so thoroughly enjoyed it.
Great. Very nice. I think you're being humble about that. So you can do much more than you are giving yourself credit for. So that's a new learning. But yeah, we'll try to make it more interesting as we go along. We just restarted these quizzes, so we're just warming up for that, and we'll start bringing in all the concepts together, and we can slice and dice. We can do a lot of fun, interesting stuff as we go along. But great. And who was Jai Hanuman? Was it you, Samji? I thought it was Rahul, probably.
No, it was me.
Oh,
I
wow.
thought Jai Shriram was Rahul ji.
I was thinking the same, but yeah, Pramodji, you played really well. So how was your experience, Samji? You are always on podium finishes. That's what I'm seeing. And you pipped Ashutosh ji today for a change.
No, actually, Ashutosh ji had to go for office, right? So office came in the middle of the fire for
Oh.
him.
Okay. That
Yeah,
probably.
it was good. The first one, memory-based questions, I'll really perform really bad. I know.
You did well. You're pretty consistent. So good going. And you
Your
did
mercy, it's all the knowledge that you are giving, Nitinji. So all credit goes to you. And thank you for all the non-participants for reducing competition for us.
No, I think we should have more participants now. It's a good way to enjoy while everybody
Yes.
else is stressing out and drinking water along the way. But if you
Correct.
participate, you'll enjoy it much more. It's a good way to.
Correct. But I always feel those who don't participate in the games or who talk much in the sessions, I think, I don't know, but in reality, I feel that they are being so humble. Maybe they are so humble souls that they are feeling like they are not, I don't know, like I feel they are some humble souls. That's the feeling that I get.
See, this game is going to heat up, I'm telling you. We'll have some entrants who are like, there were quite a few players. They will come and they will just ace game, whichever you way do that. So it's going to get interesting, I'm sure, as we go along. And yes, Pallaviji, you played well as well. You were in top 5, I think, last time as well. So you play very consistently well.
Radhe Nitinji, I have always enjoyed playing Kahoot game. Earlier also when we used to have, it used to be real tough. And with so many participants, like there used to be 40 players also, I remember.
Yeah.
And it used to be neck to neck competition. After I played after a long time, I totally forgot that it was timed. And first question, I totally missed out. But still I was able to play. That's what gives that, whatever, however you start, you can really do it. You can make it better. Yeah. Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you for putting the quiz. Thank you. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes.
Yeah, keep up your consistency. It was very nicely played. And MJK, who was MJK?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, what did that stand for, MJK?
Maharajji's kiddo. Yes.
Oh, Maharajji's kiddos. Okay. I get that. That's your team name, right? Antakshari team name. By the way, we had 3 people who participated in Antakshari for the first time, and they had a podium finish, believe it or not. And the night before, they prepared for it, and next day they were in top 3. Really well played. So kudos for that. Great going. So how was your experience, Rahul? Was the challenging enough or piece of cake for you?
It was pretty good, but yeah, I think second or third question was tricky. Yeah, that is where you miss one question and then you are already in. So.
Good, great. So thank you for your enthusiastic participation. Hope it helped you reinforce some of the concepts that we have been discussing, or maybe pick up or learn something new which were not very clear in our mind, right? So we will try to keep it, increase the tempo of these quizzes, make it even more interesting, and get some more Tattva Gyan in, cross references and Tattva Gyan that we have covered till this point, just to make it a little more competitive and help us stretch and exert a little more in our heads. Great. We are down to our last 15-16 minutes. Initially, I thought we'll have a presentation. Manishi was supposed to give that, but I think he needs a little more time window for that. It will not be able to do justice if we do that now. So I think we have a couple of options. We can pick up a question. I can ask you that question and have a discussion, or we can do our chantings like we do. It's a good way to spend time, I would say. So you are welcome to raise your hand, and let's get immersed in a little bit of Tattva Gyan plus devotion alongside with it. So anybody who's interested, Shruti is interested already. Yeah, Shruti, you had a question or you wanted to sing?
No, I have a question.
Okay.
I'm not very good at singing. So my question is that why is Radha more famous, or you can say than Rukmini? Rukmini is nowhere to be seen, where she was Not that I have any problem with it, but it's just that Rukmini was the Narayani, right? And but Radha is everywhere with Krishna, whereas Rukmini is not even remembered. Why is that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Very important question, in fact. So Radha Tattva, we can't explain that basically. So Radha, let's understand the epitome, the pinnacle or the peak of devotion, selfless love. Who are the role models we know? Role models are gopis. And Radha is actually the even further. It's like the parikashtha or the peak of selfless devotion. That is who Radha is. So in fact, in Bhakti Shatak Maharaj ji say, Advitiya do tattva hai, Radha tattva pradhan. So the Krishna and Radha both are same. So it's a female form of Krishna only. Okay, it's very deep concept, but let's say why Radha is. Let's focus on that part of it. Now Radha is completely selfless. Lakshmi or Rukmini, they are 50-50. They love Krishna not only for the sake of Krishna, but also for their own sake. Like wife has a right. They see, they love because I have a right over you. So they do it for their own pleasure as well as for the pleasure of Krishna. That is the category where Rukmini, Lakshmi, they all fall into. But Radha is completely selfless. It's 100% the pleasure. It's like for Krishna's pleasure. Every activity, every thought, every deed, every action is devoted towards Krishna's happiness. That is the peak of selflessness that nobody else has. So within Krishna's devotees also, it is said that there are three categories. The first one is called Sadharani Rati. Sadharani Rati is the one who loves Krishna for their own sake, for their own happiness. It is also very high level, but still for their own happiness. And second one is called Samanjasya Rati. They love Krishna not only for their own sake, but also love Krishna for their sake as well. And in that category fall all the queens of Krishna, including Rukmini. Okay, so 50-50. Now the proportion has become, okay, not just for myself, but for your sake as well. And the third category is called Samartharati. Samartharati are the ones which love Krishna for the sake of Krishna only. There is no trace of selfishness at all. Those are the gopis, and amongst them, the topmost devotee of Krishna is Radha. She has absolutely no trace of any selfishness, for her own self. Everything is devoted to Krishna. And it is said the Virah, see, her state, even Krishna doesn't understand the depth of Radha's love for her. So in order to experience that, sometimes he takes birth, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? He will take on a birth where he will have Radha's soul just to experience what does she go through. See, this will say, how will you not know about yourself? But that is how it is, okay? Even God doesn't know the depths of Radha's love for her. So it said that the abhas of it, like you have fire, right? Fire has three layers if you have read in science, right? There's a luminous zone and there's another one, and then there is a smoke layer on top of it. Even that abhas, forget about the fire aspect of it. If somebody experiences that abhas of what Radha feels for Krishna in the Vira, in absence of Krishna, this entire universe would be burnt to ashes. So that is the level of Radha's devotion and love and selflessness for Krishna. And it is Nishkam Bhakti. Rukmini and all, they still had some part of their selfishness. Right? There is a beautiful Leela Krishna had enacted where he said, I'm having a splitting headache. My head is bursting. So Naradji said, okay, what kind of a Leela it is now? So he said, Prabhu, what should we do now that you have the splitting headache? He said, the only way my headache will go away is if I get the foot dust of my devotee. So Narad said, okay, not a problem. He goes to Rukmini and all the Ranis. He said, Krishna is having a terrible headache. They said, okay, tell us what is the remedy for that. He said, we need a devotee's foot dust. So can you give your foot dust? He said, oh, no way. If we give our foot dust to our husband, we'll go to hell. So they refused to give that. Then he comes back to Krishna. He said they are scared of giving their food dust. They say, how can we put it on our husband's forehead and they'll go to hell? So Krishna said, why don't you go to Braj? So when he goes to Braj, to gopis, he says, Krishna is having a splitting headache. He said, okay, tell us, how do we, what's the remedy for that? He said he needs the foot dust of a devotee, and everybody was like, okay, take mine. They didn't even think, no second thoughts. So that was the level of their love. And within that also, the topmost gopi, you can say, not gopi, she's actually Krishna herself, is Radha. So Radha's position nobody can take basically. And Rukmini and
So
all.
Radha was the Samanjasarathi, right?
No, Samartharati. Even beyond that. Samartharati also, there are two bhavs. Rood Mahabhav, Adhirud Mahabhav. Within Adhirud also Madan, Mohan. Within Madan, there is Madanakya Mahabhav, which is reserved only for Radha. So I'll get into
No,
that.
I'm all confused now.
So we'll get into that. So let me just put it this way that.
So there are three kinds, right?
Within
Samartharati,
three kinds
Samanjasarathi, and
yes.
Samartharati, Samanjasarathi, and
Sadharani
Sadharni. So she is Samartharati.
She's Samartharati, and within Samartharati are all
gopis.
Okay, and within that also there are a lot of divisions, categories. Okay, within that also there's like better kind of a categories. So the topmost is reserved only for Radharani. Nobody can reach there. Let me put it that
way. But when Krishna got married and he moved to Dwarka, Radha was distraught. She kept on crying because no one understood her, pain of the separation. She didn't understand it. So she kept on crying. Wasn't it for herself that she was crying? Of course, she loved Krishna and all, but wasn't that selfish? Because then you have to be happy for others' happiness. That's selfless love, right? You have to be happy for others' happiness. If he was happy with Rukmini and all his wives, or whatever reason he moved from there and left Radha, and so she was one thing, she was distraught. And the second thing, that they didn't get together, that he didn't marry her. Maybe what I have read is because she had a lesson to learn about the omniscient God. Like God is everywhere, like God is in everything you see. So maybe that was a lesson she had to learn, that that will ease her pain of what she felt after he left, how she felt so distraught. So she had to learn that God is everywhere, you cannot miss him. So
she had to learn a lesson that itself is like, it basically says she was in an ignorance and she was not aware of it, right?
No, not that in ignorance, but why do we take birth? Like whatever, up to my very, very limited knowledge, but I have learned that even gods take birth when they have something, because we cannot learn anything when we are in Swarglok or anywhere else, right? So we come to earth to learn something, like even if it is the smallest thing, we can learn only when we come to Bhulok, right? So they came here to learn just maybe something that's, I don't know.
Okay, so I think you're getting into philosophy, which is all over the place right now.
I have to gather my thoughts.
Chapter 4.9, Krishna says, Janma karma chme divyam, yo me deti. Janma karma chme divyam. Check it out, that shloka, we had done that. So when you participate in Ram Leela, you don't become Ram. Similarly, when God takes birth, he doesn't become human. He has not come here to learn lessons. He has come here to teach us lessons or to reveal his nature. And Radha, if you talk about Radha Tattva, is a very deep Tattva. When they do their divine Leelas, even Ram was crying and wailing for Sita. Did he become any less than God? They are the divine Leelas that they do. And even in Viyog, there's not even a single moment of separation that they have. Okay, in those Leelas, the pleasure of Viyog is known as much higher than pleasure of Sanyog when somebody is there. We will not be able to. There are a few things we'll probably understand only when we get closer to those states. Okay. So with material mind, we cannot dissect these Leelas to say they are crying. They were probably not understanding God is everywhere. Then why to cry? They did not get married. Yes, they did not get married in this particular frame of reference that we have. In some other avatars, they got married. In some avatars, Radha comes first. In some avatar, Krishna comes first. In some, they get married. In some, they don't. So we cannot dissect it from our material mind. Why is it happening? Few things will make sense as we continue to progress. The key thing here to understand is Radha and Krishna are same tattva. In divine Leelas, they become two. Similarly, Shiv Parvati, same. In divine Leelas, they become two. Lakshmi, Narayan, Ram, Sita. One is Shakti, one is Shaktiman. It is just like milk and whiteness. There's absolutely no difference in them. In their divine Leelas, they do that, but that doesn't mean they become like us. They are crying, wailing, getting depressed. Okay, they have lost somebody. No, it's completely different. And these Leelas are divine. 4.9, we will talk about it in more detail. I know we are rushing out of time, and I wanted to wrap it up with a beautiful bhajan from Payalji and then hand it over to the next one. Quick announcements were we have LTP session coming up, Janmashtami event coming up. Don't miss out on that. And Dallas retreat. So sign up for that. If online option is always available. If you're in or around Dallas, if you're in Austin, if you're in San Antonio, travel and sign up for retreat. Okay. You will say thanks to yourself if you attend retreat. That's the best gift you can give to yourself. Over to you, Payalji. Let's have a beautiful bhajan and then we can hand it over for the next session. So thank you. But Shruti, let's continue that conversation. I know what your question asking is very fundamental, but it needs to be understood in proper perspective. Shirame, you had a quick question? All right, over to you, Payalji then.
I raised my hand for chanting, but I'll keep it for Monday.
Okay, maybe 2 minutes each. Both of you can do that. I think we can probably squeeze in 1 extra minute.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Radhe Radhe. मोहन तेरे चरणों की जो धूल ही मिल जाए, मोहन तेरे चरणों की जो धूल ही मिल जाए, सच कहती हूँ मेरी तकदीर बदल जाए, सच कहती हूँ मेरी तकदीर बदल जाए, मोहन तेरे चरणों में। मोहन इस जीवन की बस एक तमन्ना है, तुम सामने हो मेरे और प्राण निकल जाए, मोहन तेरे चरणों की जो धूल ही मिल जाए, मोहन तेरे चरणों की। राधे राधे.
Beautiful bhajan. Thank you so much, Payalji.
I love this bhajan sang by Swamiji. I came across this on YouTube and I just thought of giving it a try today. Yeah. Thank you so much. Radhe Radhe.
It's a very touching one, and I think in one of the days we'll probably complete this one. Like sunta hun kripa teri din raat barasti hai.
Yes. I intentionally kept it just with one stanza.
I know we are short on time today, so we will continue. But thank you again. And over to you, Sunil Bhai and Ajay, for the next session. Had a minute. And thank you again for the enthusiastic participation. Have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you next week.
I just wanted to add
special sessions next week. Thank you.
I just wanted to add one thing. Check the schedule for the Janmashtami special session. Yeah, on Monday, Nitin ji, Sanjay ji, myself and Payal ji are due for this Kirtan and the presentation.
Oh, thank you for letting me know, Rahul.
Yeah, so I mean, these participants can stay prepared for the bhajan or leela.
We'll publish it as well. Okay. Let's publish it so that everybody know who needs to present it. Thank you. All right, Radhe Radhe, over to you, Ajay and Sunil bhai.
Thank you, Nitin bhai. Thank you. And thank you, Sandhya ji. I'm going to stop the